All right, welcome to lesson 70, writing fractions as decimals and percents. Now you've done something like this before, and as you recall, I've told you, 5th grade, you need to be able to write fractions as decimals, decimals as fractions, percents as decimals, percents as fractions, if I haven't said that already. You just need to be able to manipulate fractions, decimals, and percents every which way. And up here, these two top numbers I want you to look at, those numbers are written in a form that's very easy to convert to decimals and percents. 40 hundredths and 2 hundredths. If you only got 2 questions right out of 100, it's not a very good score, right? It's 2%. 2 out of 100 is 2%. And 40 out of 100 is 40%. And we did these kind of lessons earlier, and you thought it was so simple. And it is. You just write the top number. Okay? And then 40 as a decimal would be 0.4. Or 0.40 or 0.4. Okay? And 2, you just got to be careful to put it in the hundredths column, so it's 2%, not 20, like 20%. Okay? So that was a little trick there. However, now you're going to get into numbers like this. 2/5 equals what percent? And 3/50 equal what percent? Now, the top ones were so easy. Because why? Because the number on the bottom was 100. Well, why don't we just make these have hundreds on the bottom? Okay? Now, last lesson you did something that you thought might have been kind of pointless, writing equivalent fractions. But we could do that now to manipulate our numbers to find the percents. Let's start with 50. That's very simple, right? What could you multiply to 50 to make 100? Well, you can multiply 2, because that would be 100. And whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So if I multiply 2 here, I've got to multiply by 2 here. 2 times 3 is 6. And now I have 6 hundredths. Is the same thing as 3/50. So 3/50 as a percent would be 6%. Okay? Keep in mind, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. If you want to manipulate a fraction, you can. You could write any number equivalent to 1, multiply it, and get a different version of that fraction. It won't change its value at all. It just changes how it looks. But you have to do whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Got it? All right, let's try it with this. 2/5. Now, that's not 100 on the bottom, is it? But I can make it 100. 5 times 20 makes 100. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So 2 times 20 is 40. Isn't this a very familiar number? 40 hundredths is 40%. All right? That is most of what I want you to know for this lesson. You do, however, need to convert decimals to percentages. And so don't forget, like for example, they give you 0.44. Okay? That's 44 in the hundredths. So that's 44 hundredths, which is 44%. All right? If you have any questions about converting fractions and decimals to percents, especially changing the denominators so that they make hundreds, come and see me and I'll be glad to help. Thank you.